As I mentioned after the game and watching the film, truly a group effort, great team victory. We really played strong in all three phases. In particular, I thought we were very physical up front, both in the offensive line and the defensive line. I also thought, obviously, Benny had a huge game, got some very, very tough yards, and that's a team effort. The receivers did a phenomenal job blocking on the perimeter. The O-line was physical, and the tight ends really did their job as well. And then created some big play opportunities in the pass games. Also, defensively, it started with our D-line playing a very good game, being very strong at the point of attack. And then I thought the big difference was our corners. I felt going into the game that would be a matchup that we'd have to win, and we really covered extremely well on the perimeter. So did some very good things, but there's so much more that this team can do. We can play better than we did, and that's our goal. It's always 24 hours. We enjoyed that victory. It was a victory that was a long time coming for our fans and for our players, and it was a lot of fun, and I appreciate their effort. And now it's time to put that behind us after we watch this film today and move on to the next opponent in Murray, and playing at home and looking to go out and play a good, strong game, play a clean football game, and play the way we're capable of.
Quinton Bohanna was out for quite a bit of time. How did Marquand McCall play in his place, and what's Bohanna's prognosis?
Yeah, Quinton had an ankle. He's had a couple these ankles, both of them, the past 2-3 weeks, and they've just been, minor. But when you're that big and he goes into a game, it's been bothering him a little bit. So he wasn't at full strength. So we decided to put him. He couldn't play anymore, and then Tamir and Marquand did some good things. So Marquand played well. He took a few reps off of Tamir and did a solid job while he's in there.
Do you expect Quinton back this week? Or is
I hope so. Again, it's been day to day, so he's on there on the depth charges because we'll see how he practices this week. It's been the type of ankle injury where he's been able to practice after a day or two's rest, but I'll see how it goes throughout this week.
What does that say about your depth at that position at this point? You can, obviously Josh has been out and he goes down, and you're still able to.
Yeah, it's been really good. So yeah, you're right, especially with Josh already being down, and then Quinton going down, two of our best defensive linemen. But the rest of the guys really played good. We played 8 guys inside this past week, and they all did their job and did a good job. And we're more disruptive than we've been in the past.
Mark, in a way, does it show progress that you can win a game like that without playing a perfect game and have the penalties and all those things?
It does. It shows, that as I've mentioned many times, you've sat here and listened to me talk for years. I mean, you have to have a physicality about you. Of course, you have to create big plays and do good things at skill position, but you have to be physical to win consistently in this league. And, I thought that was a great example of it. And again, it gets boring, but we just talk about that, I don't even want to use the word process, but for us, just constantly putting ourselves in a position to do good things, and eventually you're going to break through and win those games. And it was a good example of that this week.
How do you build physicality in a team? Has there been one thing or a couple of things that have really made you be able to take step forwards in that regard?
I think it's just a constant process since I've gotten here. Coach Edmond and Mark Hill, our strength guys, do a wonderful job, and it's just about having that mentality, and it takes it takes time. It takes recruitment and development. I've said that from day one. I mean, you recruit big, athletic-looking guys and develop them into SEC offensive and defensive linemen, and you're starting to see that. But it just comes from a mentality and a mentality in the development process to handle it in the weight room, the conditioning, and to play with a strong mentality.
Talk about how special it was to give the game ball to John Shalom after the game. You also mentioned they got a game ball for Pascal as well. When did he receive that? What was that moment like for him?
Yeah, we haven't. Josh will get his today. Okay, so we have a team meeting this afternoon. But John, it was a special moment because as I was talking to the team, there was a lot of people, you know, to single out, or a lot of different groups. You know, there was a defensive line, offensive line, Benny, you know, Terry, a lot of guys played a good football game. But the tone was set by the offensive line, and they always include the tight ends in that. And the way John's going through, and the way he's handling this, the way he's handling the adversity in his life, is something that we all respect. And for his players to perform the way they did and the way they care about him just says a lot. So I just thought it was fitting to recognize John, and I think all of our players really felt good about doing that. And so John's a special guy, very talented, but also is a great example of how you handle the adversity in your life.
Bunchy was named SEC Offensive Lineman of the Week. When he had that block on 3rd down, is that one of those you show to the whole team and just put it on repeat?
Bunchy did a heck of a job. Tony did mention he was SEC Player Offensive Lineman of the Week, right? Yeah. But he just played the inside in particular, you know, with Drake and him. Yeah, they really played good inside, and same with Logan, you know. But he was very physical. They set the tone right from the start. We got good movement up front, and that always starts everything with the movement inside. But yeah, there are some plays that will get pointed out, you know, from the group. But you know, it starts with a mentality and a physicality about you. And I felt like they were that way from the first snap to the last.
How much easier is it to break in a new quarterback when he doesn't have to worry about getting hit?
Big deal. You heard me talk last week about the opportunity to hit big plays should we get a bit more protection. And the 3rd and 16 conversion for a touchdown is a great example of that. That was a clean pocket. He had time to sit in there, be patient, step up in it, and make a great throw. And it starts with the protection. And so that's a big deal.
Mark, with the turnovers with Terry right now, is to an extent as he just gets more accustomed to this, is that just something you have to, I mean, you don't accept it, but know that it's going to happen a little bit.
We will continue to work on that. You know, never want him to play with any fear. You know, you want him confident in making throws and things of that nature. But you know, securing the football and fumbles is something that, you know, we cannot tolerate and won't tolerate. And so you got to continue to harp on that and be better.
He wasn't rattled by those turnovers at all? Is that similar to kind of how Steven's demeanor was?
Very much so. But there was absolutely no worry in his eyes at halftime. You know, he knew they made a mistake. He was frustrated by it, but you know, he's got a very calm demeanor about him, much like Steven. And you know, he had a lot of confidence in himself that he was going to go out and play well.
During camp, he talked a lot about the need to take the top off and hit some more big plays. Got one to Lynn, got him in the end zone. How nice was it to see one of those?
It was really important because, you know, we've been talking about that and stressing that and working on that. And that created, you know, I don't know, there's never one play. You don't know what one play changes a game. But that was certainly a big play and something we need to do. And, so to hit a 54-yarder on 3rd and 16 over the top is a big part of it. Then we had opportunity on an early down, 1st or 2nd down, with a clean pocket, with a protection that we had in with a little, you know, giving a little vision to the quarterback. That was the one we threw down the field and had incomplete. But you know, we need to hit that as well. But we're real close on that one as well. And you know, so I thought, you know, protection, changing it up, you know, finding ways to get a clean pocket, and receivers ran better. You know, just running, just sprinting, just playing fast was helpful. And I thought those guys really played unselfish. They played really tough on the perimeter, very physical, and we'll continue to work on the pass game and get opportunities.
Mark, for our friends in Western Kentucky, what do you see about Murray staying?
Murray, you know, is doing some good things. They spread the ball out, and they spread you know, some with their splits and create some different looks, and are doing a good job. You know, they got off to a tough start here, but they're a good football team, well coached, and you know, we have to play well. And you know, as always, no matter if we're playing, Florida or Murray. It's about us and the way we prepare and the way we play. And that's what we're looking for this week.